for them to come after me so much, I must have something important to say, I mean, I'm just one little person in this big world, and they've come after me to attack me. A million people, it seems like. and everything they say is a lie. They don't even know me. It's not even real. It's ridiculous. He's Carl Jung. He's this. He's this. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. It's kind of like if you marry a Jezebel and she tries to take you to court, and she goes to the judge and she says, well, he says, where's the proof? What are you talking about? Trust me, I experienced this twice. What are you talking about? There's no reason. Why are y'all here? Case dismissed. Because they all play games. Thank God for Amber Heard. But that's what's going on in this world. Because if you talk about authority, there's authority in the home. There's authority on the job. If it's a real church, there's authority in the church. But finding the real one's a hard thing. The church house, like right here, I go in there and I bet you they teach false doctrine. I bet you I could go in there one day and find false doctrine. It's sad. People don't want authority. The children don't want authority. People hate authority. People don't want to submit. People don't want to admit that maybe they don't have the truth. All the narcissists, if you do go to church, I got saved outside of church, and I said, okay, I'm saved, let me join the church. I thought everybody in there was talking the Bible. I thought everybody knew their Bible, but they don't. They don't. And they can't rightly divide it. And I'm sitting here thinking, why did I think these people were special just because they were raised in church? And I look back now and I realize most your church going people are just going by doctrines of demons and doctrines of devils and what their mama said or their daddy said, and it don't even line up with scripture at all. Not even close. And then when you do a deeper study and you realize your whole culture is a lie, the money system, when you really wake up, and then everybody around you says you're crazy. When you start talking about the vaccine, going to Mars, going to the moon, vaccines and all that, and you start revealing, the chemtrails and all that, people say you're crazy. Now it's spread so much, a lot of people are learning. But early on, people thought you were crazy. So as you wake up, see, it's a demonic system, and it's a fake reality bubble. And back August before last, I thought I heard something on my call. August before last, I started talking about the fake reality bubble of Genesis 3 happening right now all the time. And so the system wants you in a fake reality bubble. I'm not saying not to submit to the system, because the system, no matter who created it, if I created it, we create a system, it has some flaws down here because man cannot rule himself. Isn't that what the big experiment was with the USA? Can man rule himself? And the answer is no. You need authority, you need rules, you need order. Look what happens when people rule themselves. If you go over there, see all them cars in that parking lot's full, not because of Saturday. That parking lot's full because people live there. And that one right there too. People live there. And you go in there and you talk to people that don't have any truth. And you say, no wonder you can't even rule yourself, much less a whole nation ruling itself, People just don't really get it. They don't get it. So they give them a bunch of delusions, lies, just to keep them in, make them think that they got some autonomy, but you never really had any autonomy. It's all about the inside being renewed, you know. So anyway, like I say, I must be hitting on some serious stuff for people who, I'm just one little small voice in the whole world. I must be hitting on something, because to have so many people lie about me and attack me, and they don't even know me. And I'll talk about how, because I'm revealing it all. The cults, the isms, the witches, the Covens, the Freemasons, the Jesuits, it's all a system. And you got handlers. Everybody's got a handler. And that's why they send another person. If you cut off a handler, they send another one. I cut off all my handlers. So who they going to send next, you know? They always send a handler. If they can get you to marry one of the handlers, they got it. They got you locked down. They got you locked down. Because if you're at home without a handler and you're in peace, you're reading your Bible, you're meditating, in the last 30 days, I've really seen a lot of deeper truth that I never thought I would see. And it's like, if I would have had chaos, I mean, I've had time to just meditate. And if I'd have had a handler in the house, you know, if they see you find some kind of born again person to marry, they're going to shut that down as fast as they can. They're going to bring in fake people. They're going to lie. They don't want you. One can take down 1,000, two can take down 10,000. That's what they're trying to attack. I'm activated. So they got to send a handler. And they're really trying to kill me, really, to be honest with you. I think about 6 months ago I was being poisoned. I can't prove it. I think they're shocked I'm still alive. I believe what they want to do is steal my organs or study my DNA. I mean, really. They've been trying to take me out since I was 4 years old. Your name is your calling. They know by your name what your calling is. But you know what? It was a good thing, because it made me set my affections above, not below. My kingdom's not down here. My kingdom's above. So is yours if you're saved. Now, what's nice, if you can get ahead of the game, get out of debt, and live stress-free. You know, if I got a roof over my head, and I got a little bit of food, and I got peace, I got my health, I'm rich. I got running water, I got hot water, I got air conditioning in the summer. Little heater that I can get from Home Depot. I'm rich. I got it made, people. Put some thermals on and I'm good to go. And so they don't understand how the Roadrunner just keeps escaping all their traps. They can't understand it. I promise you, I'm not even lying. Everything I'm telling you is the truth. They've sent so many Jezebels my way, it's not even funny. And I look for the pattern in them, and the pattern in every Jezebel is they're Gnostics or they're witches, or both combined. So it goes back to Genesis 3. Hath God said? They don't want to believe the Bible. They want to push other books. They want to try to push you into reading other books instead of the Bible. They really are in a network, and they are handlers. They're usually Wiccans. And if they're not a Wiccan, it might not be considered a quote-unquote cult. Quote-unquote cult. That's hard to say. A quote-unquote cult. It might not be a cult per se, but there's usually about 5 of them. Maybe 20. Because they're in different states. They're attacking you all over. They hate the patriarchy. These people are witches, they're Gnostics, and they hate the patriarchy. They hate anybody who is a man who's free. They hate your freedom. I had a boss one time, he said, "You're the freest man I know." You got that right. And if you are a man, you better marry a free woman. And when I say a free woman, is she knows about walking in the Spirit and she's not tied to this place. And she's not a people pleaser, and she's not worried about what her mama says. She's worried about what God says. When a woman puts her mama before her husband, and she puts her own will before God's will, and she puts animals before her spouse, for her husband, I actually, as a man, that happened to me. I said, I need to go to the emergency room. We'll call an ambulance. But when the dog was hurt, a stray dog, as a matter of fact, she took the dog to the vet, but she wouldn't take me to the vet. What's up with that, people? That really happened. That's sick. That woman's sick. And so she thinks she went somewhere else and became healthy in another relationship. Nah, she's a sick woman, and I know she had trouble because she hasn't sent me a letter saying, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have treated you the way I did, but I'll never get that letter in the mail. I don't care. I don't want it. But it just tells me that she's not healthy where she's at now. And it's going to filter down to the kids and the grandkids and everybody around. We're talking about selfish, narcissistic psychopaths walking around in the churches, in the church house, claiming to be, oh, I love Jesus. Yeah, but you're a Jezebel with a bunch of flying monkeys to try to manipulate and control somebody to get them to do your will instead of God's will. Hey, Jezebel, I don't care if you never miss a day of church. You're still a Jezebel. And that's where the Jezebel goes the most, because Revelation 2 and 3 says, kick Jezebel out of the church. Where do you think she goes the most? In the church house. She wears a dress. She's sitting in the church house, and she's a Jezebel. And she's gossip. She's running from house to house, speaking things she ought not, and turned aside unto Satan, and don't even know that she's a hell-bound sinner because she was raised in church. She thinks she's saved, and she never saw her sin. She couldn't take accountability if accountability hit her in the face. If accountability was a human being, she couldn't take accountability, and that's why they want to take me out. I was a red pill before the red pill movement. And I'm not saying it's right to be mean to anybody, but when you call them out on their insanity and they run out the back door screaming and crying because they're wrong or they're lying, and usually they're cheating. If they're doing all that, a narcissistic Jezebel is always cheating. Always got some supply somewhere, you know. That's why they want to take me out. And they hate my freedom and they hate my peace. I know that's a fact.